Well, hey there, it's that coding guy here, breaking it down and making it accessible. We'll get back to the Dungeon Keeper demo here for a bit, at least for this video. It hasn't been the most popular in my video views, but that's all right. It's a chance for me to actually code. I don't really get to do that too often, and maybe it helps somebody out. When I was about to make this video a minute ago, I realized that I hadn't been merging all of my stuff into the main branch. So I swung through and merged all my branches there and pushed up to main. And I'll check out a new branch for deleting, get my development work here done. Cool. So I'm now branched off of main, which is the most up-to-date branch. And we get all the good stuff. So I'll start off with a controller endpoint here, and we'll do a public room and delete room. And generally for a delete, we're going to pass the ID. So we'll have a path variable here, long ID. And we'll do a delete mapping. And this is very much like the put just above here, where we'll actually have the ID in there. And we're going to call the room service delete room and pass that guy the ID of the thing that we want to delete. And that's complaining because we actually haven't done that work yet, and that's cool. Go ahead and get our Java doc in here. It's following the endpoint, following the pattern above. Seems a little redundant. That's because it is for this stuff that is very simple. You know, we don't have a lot of complicated business logic going on here. And so for the most part, all of these guys are just straight pass-through methods. They just basically call the service to get the work done, and the service really doesn't do a lot of complicated logic. It just calls the repository. But anyway, we'll go ahead and romp on into the interface, define the footprint for this, which we said is taking the long ID. Head on over into the actual implementation. It's complaining now because, hey, we said that interface, that contract, we said we need to have that delete method. We have to provide implementations for all those at the least. So go ahead and get the doc in here. Be a good developer. Deletes the room by ID. ID of the object to be deleted. And this guy is actually returning the room. It's generally not necessary. This is your call. You'll see different ways to do this. I find that void methods, like this doesn't really need to return anything, honestly, but void methods are kind of a pain to test because you're generally just, you're testing on a side effect of what happens in the void method rather than the result of the void method. So sometimes you'll see folks do this as a Boolean, whether or not we were actually successful. And so this guy will just return room repository.delete by ID, toss that guy the ID. And so we made that a Boolean. We can basically do this. I haven't put a lot of error catching in here because we've been keeping it kind of slim for now. This guy is, because we defined it in the interface. Yeah, I can see how this would be boring, like just watching me figure things out. Makes sense. But so we said, hey, we'll go ahead and do a Boolean. So we have to change it on the interface as well. Do that. These guys are not necessarily best practice right now, but as I said, this is like a first pass for people who have maybe never used repositories before, or maybe unfamiliar with the architecture, the layered architecture that we're doing here. So this is going to actually return true if successful at the moment. And that looks kind of good. And then this guy we said is returning a room as well. This is actually going to just do that for the moment. And I don't know off the top of my head what the framework is going to do with this. So let's just try this real quick. I think a lot of new developers are like, oh my God, what's going to happen if I do this thing? And they might ask that question. And I'm like, I don't know, try it. Do the thing. You're not going to break that guy. So to be fair, we're doing a delete here. We're doing the localhost 8085, I'm pretty sure. And we'll pass that guy a 1. First, let's see what we actually have in here. It's been a while. Okay, I've got abandoned barracks as number 1, throne room as number 2. So if we run this guy, connection refused. Oh, it's 8080. So we get a 404 not found. And if we do this, that was a post. Man, I'm all over the place. So that delete did not go through. So let's see what's going on. Localhost 8080/1 saying not found. So in the controller, we have rooms. That's why. You know, sometimes you're like, what am I even doing here? At least I am. Is that you too? All right, we got the 200. Okay. And that means if we go do a get, we don't have the number 1. And we get the 200 okay coming back. We generally, best practice for a delete is to send back a 204 with no content. So, pretty sure there's a way to do that. There it is. I'm going to snag this guy, throw it on here, and do a no content. Oops. Perfect. Save that guy. Rerun the service. Cool. Now we can, once again, we'll start off with doing a get. We have those automatically being inserted there. So we've got number 1 and number 2 back. We run the delete on number 1. We get back 204, no content. We got nothing in the body. That's best practice for a delete for the most part. Your mileage may vary, but it's pretty good. And then if we do the get all rooms, once again, we're back down to just the throne room. That's cool. Let me go ahead and delete number 2 as well. See if we get the old empty array back. Cool. So that's pretty much that. This doesn't actually return anything, but we'll just throw this in here. I think that's about it. I'll go ahead and do my polish pass now. I want to refactor and reformat code. Snag optimize imports, snag the rearrange entries, snag the cleanup code guy. And it looks like we didn't touch any other extra files, which is good. And I'll swing through looking for some blank lines here because I'm kind of a stickler on that kind of thing, honestly. Everything's tightened up here. The comments, the documentation is snugged right up against the method or the annotations there. That's good. No extra lines there. I don't see anything not being used or anything like that. To the Git cave, Batman. Git status. We didn't change any other crazy files. That's cool. Git add -a, git commit -m. Throw in that helpful git commit message. Added the delete functionality to the to all the layers, actually. Do that, and so I don't forget to do this next time, we'll go ahead and switch out to main. And do the git merge. Am I done? No. Merging is local until you push. That's deleting. And then, yeah, that stuff is up there on the GitHub if you want to check out the code. Clone it down, noodle around with it, practice with some stuff, break it. Cool. All right. Cheers, y'all.